So folks, in today's video, I'll be unboxing and setting up the Eufy Clean E25 robot vacuum. In case you're not familiar with the E25, this is a vacuum mop combo robot that also has a couple of cool features such as auto emptying, auto washing of the mopping pad and refilling, and a few other really cool features along with very high suction power. If you're looking to buy one of these, I'll leave a link right below the video. And if you'd like to see a full review of this device, please leave me a comment below. Now this is a pretty large box and I've gotten it open. Let's see what's inside. Right on top you have the quick start guide, a safety information guide, and I'll remove this top cardboard cover. And next there's this box with a handle and I'm going to lift that out. And the last item inside this box is the actual docking station itself. To lift this out, the instructions actually tell us not to pull on just the bag itself, but also kind of lift it from up here. So you want to lift it and then pull it out of the box and be really careful about it. It is kind of heavy. As you can see, I've got the docking station out of the box, and that was pretty much the last item in the box. I'm going to start prepping it to get it ready for installation. So let's remove this plastic cover, and then we're going to remove a few pieces of protective plastic packaging from the docking station. I'm going to first peel off this piece, which is on the bottom of the docking station, this blue label with a clear piece of plastic attached to it. Let's gently peel that off. Then let's remove this piece of protective packaging with this blue label here. Then peel it off. Next, I'm going to remove this piece of protective packaging. There's another piece right behind it. Pull the water tank out and then pull the wastewater tank out. And I'm going to gently peel off the protective film on the water tank. Let's do the same with the wastewater tank. So I'm going to slot the wastewater tank back onto the base, and let's put the water tank back in as well. Okay, it slots into place. Let's set the dock aside for now. We'll come back to it later. So I've got the box with the robot inside in front of me. Let's open that up and see what's inside. The first thing you'll find is a piece of plastic, a plate that attaches to the front of the dock. We'll do that in a second. And next you have a bottle of the included Eufy cleaning solution. This is the floor cleaning solution. You have the power cord for the base. Then let's go ahead and remove the robot itself from the box. So I've set the robot aside. Let's do a few prep items on the actual dock. I've gone ahead and grabbed that plastic plate that was in the box with the robot. And all that plate does is it snaps into the front of the dock, into that little ledge at the front of the dock. So that sits in there and then presses into place. That, folks, is the ramp for the robot, so the robot can drive into the dock. And while we're working on the dock, let's also load the cleaning solution into the dock. So I'm going to temporarily remove the water tank and set that aside. Then what you want to do is grab the plastic container with the cleaning solution, and we're going to remove this cover over here, gently peel that off. Then we're going to gently insert that into the slot for the cleaning solution and press it into place to lock it. Since we're working on the dock, let's plug the provided power cable into the port on the back of the dock. So I'm going to plug this connector at a 90-degree angle, and the way you know it's gone in the correct way is with the wire facing down, and then I'm going to push it into place till it's nice and snug. I've gotten the robot out of its outer plastic packaging, and let's remove some protective stickers and film. I'm going to peel off this piece of film on top and then gently peel the sides till I can get that entire piece off the robot. Then I'm going to remove these bumper protectors, and there's one on either side. Remove them both. Now the next step in the process for us is to find a location in our home to install the dock. We need a clear space that is close enough to a power outlet so we can actually plug the device in, with about 1.5 feet of space on either side of the machine and roughly 5 feet of space ahead of the machine, 5 feet of clear space ahead of the machine. Now I've located such a place in my home, and I'm going to place the dock on the floor. Unlike other lighter charging docks, this kind of is retained on the floor by its own weight. It's a pretty heavy unit, so you don't really need any tape or any adhesive to hold it down. So it just kind of sits on the floor, and I'm going to plug the dock in to my power outlet. I'm going to pull the water tank out and fill that tank with water to the max mark up top. Then we're going to reinstall the tank, and then I'm going to gently gently roll the robot into the dock, ensuring that the LiDAR sensor is facing outwards, and so is the AI vision system on the front, and that tells you that it has been correctly inserted into the dock. And as soon as you roll it in, the device boots up and starts to charge up. As you can see here, we're going to do the rest of the setup on this device using a smartphone. Now, I'm going to be doing this using an iPhone, but the setup process using an Android device is pretty much identical. So let's go do that. And the first step to doing that is I'm going to go into my app store. If you're using an Android device, obviously you should go into your Play Store, and we're going to search for the Eufy app, EUFY. Search for that, and we want the first result that comes up. That is just the Eufy app. This is the newly unified Eufy app for all Eufy devices. I'm gonna hit get to begin downloading the app. Give it a few seconds. Once it's done downloading, I'm gonna tap open. Once that opens up, it asks you whether you'd like Eufy to send you notifications. I'm not going to allow in this case. This is entirely up to you. I'm going to tap don't allow. Then it says welcome to Eufy, and then it wants you to agree to terms and conditions. I'm going to tap agree and continue. And then it wants you to choose your region. In my case, it is the USA, so I'm going to search for that, the United States. Tap on that. Then it asks you to confirm your region. Tap confirm. Then it wants you to create a Eufy account. If you already have one of these, you can just sign in. So in my case, I already have an account, so I'm going to enter the email address I used to create this account. Then I'm going to hit I have read and agreed to Anchor's privacy policy, and then I'm going to tap next. Since I already have an account, it's asking me to log in, which I'm going to do. I'm going to enter my password and then tap login. Then as it does this, it asks me whether I'd like to allow Eufy to find devices on my local network. I'm going to tap allow. Then it again asks me whether I want to turn on notifications. I'm going to tap don't show me again. Then it kind of walks you through a basic tour. I'm just going to flip through the tour and then tap get started. This brings me to the home page of the app where I can actually add a new device. So I'm going to tap that big button in the middle that says add device. And again, it asks whether I'd like to allow Eufy to find devices using Bluetooth. I'm going to tap allow. And now I have to select my device from the available options. So I'm going to tap on clean first because we have a robot vacuum. Then I'm going to go down to where it says the robot vacuum E-series. Let's tap on that. The model we're looking for is the Omni E25. Let's tap on that. And it's asking us to power on the robot, which we've already done because we placed it in the charging base or charging dock. We're going to tap the little checkbox that says powered on and then tap next. And so for the next step, it asks you to press and hold both buttons on the front of the robot for about 3 seconds till the robot lets you know that the Wi-Fi network has been reset. And you'll notice the 2 LEDs on the front of the robot begin flashing. And once we're done with that, let's jump back into the app and tap the reset completed checkbox and then tap next. Then it wants us to follow the steps to enable location permission. I'm going to tap go to enable. Then it asks you whether you'd like to allow Eufy to use your location. And I'm going to tap allow while using app. And as you can see, it's found our device, the Eufy Omni E25. I'm going to tap connect. Then it wants to know what Wi-Fi network in your home you'd like it to connect to. In my case, it has correctly selected the network. Obviously, if it hasn't, in your case, you can always tap this and select from the list of Wi-Fi networks. In my case, it's selected it correctly. So I'm just going to enter the Wi-Fi password. As you can see, it is connecting to the Wi-Fi network. And as you can see, it brings us back to the home page for the robot. You can see that our robot has been added to the home page of our app. And I'm going to tap on that. Once you tap on that, it asks us to get our device ready in terms of positioning the robot, which we've already done. I'm going to tap next. And in my case, it asks me to upgrade my firmware. Now, this may or may not be the case with you, in case your firmware has already been upgraded to the latest version before it was shipped. But in my case, it hasn't. So I'm going to tap upgrade now, and then I'm going to tap upgrade now again. And there you go. It is updating the firmware on the robot. Once that that firmware update is done, it brings you back to the home page of the app. I'm going to tap that. The robot at this point doesn't know the dimensions or the objects inside your home, and you need to get it to map your house, which is what we're going to do next. But before we start to do that, we want to ensure that there are no obstructions on the floor. You also want to make sure that all the areas that you want the robot to clean are relatively clutter-free, so the robot can actually get around and maneuver and map the entire house. This is not going to be a cleaning run. This is just a mapping run to figure out the dimensions of your home. Once I'm ready to map my home, I'm going to tap start. Once you hit start, it lets you know that it is going to map the house before it actually cleans it. Then tap next. In case you have pets, let it know that you have pets. In my case, I don't have pets, so I'm going to tap I don't have pets. Then it asks you whether you'd like to enable do not disturb. I'm not going to enable that right now. I'm going to tap OK. And once you do that, the robot goes off and maps your entire home. And this takes about 15 minutes. It uses all its sensors to kind of map your home and the obstacles in your home. And it then generates a 3D map of your home and goes back and docks into the docking station. And at that point, it can then continue to mop and clean your entire home. In my case, I've just paused it right now because I'm not ready to clean. And when you're ready to clean, hit the start button. The robot will go through your house, vacuum it, and mop all the hard floors. It'll then return back to its dock and clean and dry its mopping pads, which is absolutely amazing. And this pretty much completes the setup of the Eufy E25. And if you're looking to buy one of these, I'll leave a link right below the video, so feel free to check that out. Hope this video has been useful. If it has, please hit that big thumbs up, and please also consider subscribing to my channel for more reviews, unboxings, and how-to videos. If you have any questions or concerns about this setup process, leave me a comment below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.